Friday. Hello, hello, hello. It is Friday. Woo! All right, so I'm so happy we are back. This show used to be called, let me make sure, this show used to be called The Weekly Voice, right? Now I've changed it to Top 10 Weekly. So if you watched the Weekly Voice with me before, you understand why I say top 10. And then also, this is season 2. So also season 1, I started looking on YouTube and so many people had my title, The Weekly Voice. I mean, it's not that original. So I was like, nah, I don't want people to get confused. So I am changing the name. This is a short show, 20 minutes tops. We're going to talk about my faves of the week. We're going to talk about you'll see. You'll see. Welcome to the show. Pull up a seat and enjoy Top 10 Weekly. All right, so what is Top 10 Weekly? It is, you're going to find out the book of the week, the podcast of the week, the playlist song of the week, the flashback song of the week, lesson, inspiration, gratitude. We're going to do it like that. So if you tuned into the Weekly Voice, and check it, it's on the playlist, the Weekly Voice, I talk about the word of the week and we go have a good time. We have a great conversation when it comes to the week. What's been happening this week? So this show will be available every single Friday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Some of the times might change, not sure yet, but for now it is 7:30. All right, so let's get right to it. The word of the week is savant. What is a savant? A person with great skill or knowledge in a particular subject. That's a savant. That's the word of the week. Now, the book of the week, I read it again this week. I just broke it down. I just looked. I was like, what is scratching me? All right. So the book of the week is by an OG author. Y'all might have heard of her. Tyree McMillan. Now, if you haven't, now this is not an old book either. This is only a couple of years old, but I read this book maybe when it came out, maybe 2 years ago, something like that. And my daughter was reading it. And I said, let me reintroduce myself to that book. So the book is called I Almost Forgot About You. Now, you can read the book, read the words, or you can check an Audible book or an audio book, depending on what you have, and you should check it out. So especially if you're a seasoned person like me, and it's funny because the main character is in her 50s, right? And I will be 52 this year. But my daughter, who was in her late 20s, she said, I want to read this book so I can understand, some things and get some valuable lessons and see what's happening, what's going to be down the road. And I love that because most of the time, younger people are like, I'm not there yet. She wants to look ahead. And it's an entertaining book. And if you listen to the audio book, y'all know, if you don't know Tyree McMillan and her voice and her dryness, her dry tone to her voice, then you're not going to get it. But if you know, I don't know, it's something about it that is soothing in a dry way. But for her to read her own words, it's amazing. So definitely that is the book of the week. The podcast of the week is J.Ill. This is Jill Scott's podcast, which I love. I mean, it's with Laia Sinclair and Aja Danzler, Graydon Danzler. She is the Kindred wife. If you know Kindred, Family Soul, the group her and her husband. It is Aja. And that's one of my favorite podcasts. And I've been catching up this week because I missed a couple. That podcast really, it's a conversation piece to spark conversation. That's how Jill Scott likes to put it. So whatever they're talking about, this week they were talking about self-love, talking about traveling abroad in Black America in a lot of different places, and how to and what kind of, I don't want to say, what kind of contribution do we make in other people's lives other than Black people, and talking about our culture and different things like that. So that's this week, the two that I caught up on. They were talking about that. And self-love, it was beautiful. They were talking about write a self-love letter to yourself, write a love letter to yourself, and talking about what you love about yourself. And I thought that was pretty dope. And I'm going to do that because I've written letters to my younger self and different things like that, but to really remind yourself of how dope you are. So I love those type of podcasts where it stretches you and makes you think. And it's all about growth and healing and understanding and, being a better person. So those are the type of podcasts I love, other than my own podcast, Shine with Kendall and Lenice. I love this podcast. On repeat, the playlist song of the week is Special by Lizzo. Have you heard it? If you haven't heard it, you definitely gotta listen to it. When I first heard it and I just played it on repeat and repeat and repeat, it just made me cry, literally. In case nobody told you today, you're special. And it's just a beautiful song. And if you know anything about Lizzo and all of the criticism she gets, and she's saying all of this stuff, the fame is new, but people dogging me and saying stuff about me, it ain't new. So if you got to hear that you're special, I'm going to tell you you're special today. And it's just a beautiful song. So that's what's on repeat this week. The quote of the week is by OG Dolly Parton. The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. That's a powerful quote. Like if you want good on the other side, because y'all know when it rains, after the rain has gone away, you see the beautiful rainbow in the sky. You see people pulling over on the side of the road, taking pictures of rainbows. So sometimes if you want the rainbow, you got to expect the rain, and you got to be able to accept the rain, because it's not going to always be rainbows. And that's a great metaphor for life. Like you got to go through the hard times sometimes just to get to the good times. You got to go through the hard lessons just to get to that blessing. So that is the quote of the week. Before I get to trending topics, the human beings of the week are Governor Wes Moore, woo, and his wife, the First Lady, Dawn Moore. Shout out to Maryland for having its first Black governor. I am a part of that. I am a Maryland resident, and we have our first Black governor, which is huge. Think about it. We're still having first in the Black community, and it's 2023. We are still having first. But he and his wife, Dawn, are the humans of the week because they honored public servants who contributed to the state's growth, connectedness, and prosperity. And that's how they wanted to kick off Black History Month. Did I mention that this week started Black History Month? Black History Month for me is 365 days of the year. Black history is American history, but it kicked off this week. All right. So let's talk about the trending topics. Do I want to talk about those first? Yeah, let's just get into the trending topics. And I'm going to try to keep it light this week. So trending topics this week, everybody is going crazy because Beyonce tickets, well, they didn't even go on sale. Her tour was announced and people were losing their minds. People were looking up the tour prices. They were astronomical prices. We don't know if that's real, but it was like $3,000 to sit all the way in the nosebleeds. So we don't know what the prices will be, but it had the internet's in a frenzy. Social media, people were like, do I want to pay my bills and my, my rent, or do I want to go to the Beyonce concert? There were so many memes, so many conversations, so many discussions on social media. That was trending big this week. Also, what was trending this week, and I don't even know why people are so mad, Robin and Juan from Real Housewives of Potomac. Everybody, I mean, my daughter was listening to stuff and then different reviews and podcasts, and I was like, I'm so sick of hearing about Robin and Juan. And I am one of the people that do listen to Robin and Giselle's podcasts, Reasonably Shady. And they are not fan favorites, now on Real Housewives of Potomac. They have their crew, because when they go somewhere, people want to follow. When they have their podcast live, people want to follow. They have a large following, but a lot of folks don't like Robin and Giselle. I like Giselle and Robin, she's cool, but I do. And just because you like somebody, you don't have to agree with everything, right? But I'm so tired of hearing about Robin and Juan. So the thing was that he cheated on her during the pandemic. So I'm so tired of hearing about that news, but that's what was trending this week, along with the announcement of 2 sequel movies. Bad Boys 4 is coming out. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. Will Smith, of course, did a creative, cute video where he went to he drove to Martin's house, and they were on camera and saying Bad Boys for life, Bad Boys eternal, Bad Boys 4, and also Girls Trip 2. Now, a lot of controversy around that because of Tiffany Haddish's allegations. And they're like, well, and then through the comments, they're like, well, if she's going to be in it, I'm not going to see it. And then even people were like, if Jada's in it, I'm not going to see it because of what she did to Will. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go see the movie. I saw the first one quite a few times, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Queen Latifah. I enjoyed Regina Hall. I enjoyed Jada, and Tiffany Haddish was Tiffany Haddish, and they said, Will Packer said he couldn't do the sequel without her. So now all of the women have signed on, and I believe it's going to be in Ghana. The first one was in New Orleans during Essence Fest. This one is going to be in Ghana. I'm not sure when they're both coming out, but it is official, and it has been officially announced that both movies will be coming out. What else? All right. Everybody is talking about, all the people are talking about You People on Netflix. This is the first time Lauren London has come back in this big of a way since Nipsey Hussle's passing. And she wanted to make sure this movie was right. She wanted to make sure it had substance. It meant something. What are they trying to say? She's been all over the place promoting You People. Eddie Murphy has been out doing it. Nia Long has been out promoting it. Everyone but Jonah Hill. He said his mental health is not stable enough to be out there promoting it. Like, it makes him nervous and anxious, and he did not want to be on the circuit promoting the movie. So then some people were like, well, Monique said that a long time ago, and y'all gave her the blues. She didn't do it. So why is nobody giving Jonah Hill the blues? So people are talking about that on social media. That's what's trending. On a sadder note, Tyree Nichols, his funeral was this week. And Jamal Bryant was there. Pastor Jamal Bryant, Al Sharpton was there. A lot of people were there paying their condolences and respects to Tyree Nichols. The twist is all the officers were Black. They were all arrested quickly. So that's trending. People were like, well, if they weren't Black, they wouldn't have been arrested this quickly. And 3 of them were Qs, fraternities, Q dogs. Well, this week, they got their membership revoked forever. So 3 of the officers were Qs, fraternities. If you don't know what a fraternity is, sororities, fraternities in college, Black sororities. Yep. So they're revoked permanently. The Qs did not want anything to do with these officers because that's not what they stand for. And they did not hesitate to revoke their membership. My prayers go out to Tyree Nichols' family. I don't know if you guys know, if you heard, but this was personal. Apparently, his ex-wife had worked with Tyree, and they were dating, and he wasn't feeling it. So he sent the ex-wife a picture of Tyree and what they did to him on her phone, which showed that all the officers rallied around to do what they did, beat him to death to Tyree because he was jealous of the dating situation. So it's just heartbreaking. My prayers go out to his family and all who love them. And something it has to be done. It's just disgusting. And no, I didn't see the video. A lot of people, that's trending. People don't want to see the video. And personally, I don't. I've seen enough, George Floyd, just seeing that video is enough for me forever. I don't want to see it anymore. All right. As we wind down, let's go to inspiration of the week. It's never too late to be who you want it to be. Sometimes people think that they're running out of time because of age. Y'all know, as the remix coach, my saying is it's never too late to remix your life at any age, stage, or phase. It's never too late to be who you always wanted to be. So if you need some inspiration to restart school, if you need inspiration to leave your job, leave your relationship, rekindle a friendship, end a friendship, whether you want to dive into entrepreneurship, whether you want to go travel the 7 seas, whether you want to take a plane, train, automobile, ride across country, whatever you want to do, you wanted to start something new, it's not too late to do that. So I just want to encourage you that anything that you want to do, anybody you want it to be, you can still be that at any age. The lesson of the week is silence speaks louder than words can ever say. So practice silence this upcoming week, and we'll talk about it next week when we meet again. But silence says a lot. When people say, well, they didn't answer my question or they didn't say anything, they did answer it. They answered it with silence. So there's a lot to be said in silence. That is a lesson for you to go carry through forth forever. All right. I'm going to do the throwback jam, and then we're going to leave with gratitude. That's how we're going to leave every episode. So the throwback jam of the week is a song that came out in 1995. Everybody was rocking to it. It was a hit across the board. All generations, all races, all colors. It's even popularized so much that it's in commercials. Now, the person that sang this song, because of financial issues, lost all the rights to it, but he will always be the singer of the song. This will always be his song. And it's called This Is How We Do It. This is Montel Jordan. That is the throwback jam of the week. So, as we close this first episode, season 2 of Top 10 Weekly, I want to leave with gratitude. Okay. So the gratitude of the week is someone that I love dearly, and a family member became a double amputee this week. And I went to go see him, and I was heartbroken, sad, because I witnessed him get one leg amputated a few years ago. And now the second amputated this week. And people complain about ailments and hurts and different things happening with their bodies, which is very real. Health is very real. Some people, like I just broke a nail. I'm not even, I love nails and all of that, but I'm not complaining about a broken nail because my nail will grow back. But his legs are gone forever. And it's heartbreaking and it's sad. So when you think about complaining about small things that will renew themselves or will get better, think about someone with no legs and be gracious and show gratitude and give thanks to God for everything you have and not complain about what you don't have. There's a meme. Complaints, blessings. Most people are in the complaint lines because so many people complain about minute things and they don't realize the biggest blessings they have. When you get out of bed, you can put your 2 feet down. My mother said something powerful like, he has all of these shoes and he probably has to give them away because he can no longer wear his shoes. That hit me. That's deep. That's deep. So before you complain, think about someone. I once complained about having no shoes. Y'all know the saying, until I saw a man that had no feet. And I witnessed that this week. So show gratitude. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to Top 10 Weekly. Remember, you are a star. Don't allow anyone to dim your shine, y'all. Y'all have a good darn weekend. Do something. Think about what you think about what's on your agenda for next week. Be intentional about the entire week. Think about everything intentionally and live on purpose. Live intentionally. Set your intentions every day when you wake up. Okay? It's important to be able to do that. You can show more gratitude that way. You can cherish every moment that way. You can be thankful and more grateful. And the more that you concentrate on what you're grateful for and gratitude, the less, hopefully, you'll complain. All right. Till next week, y'all. God bless. Please tell somebody about the top 10 weekly. I was going to say the weekly voice, top 10 weekly. Bye, y'all. Take care. Have a good night. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.